Omakase. I guess most of you have heard of this term before. Many people link omakase with sushi, but is it really just about sushi? In fact, omakase means that the restaurant decides all the details of a meal, but not just sushi. In the next few minutes, we will lead you into the world of omakase, from its history, restaurant environment, dining experience, to its rules and culture. We will enjoy the omakase with all of you together. Omakase is actually not an old tradition in Japan. Instead, it is a term that originated from sushi restaurants during the 1990s. Before the 1990s, the customers of sushi restaurants were mainly high-class citizens. As the Japanese economy changed, many newcomers unfamiliar with the sushi culture visited the sushi restaurants. Therefore, sushi culture was changed to cater for the needs of these newcomers. No more fixed menus, but the dishes are all decided by the chef depending on the seasonal ingredients and its skills. This is what we call omakase today. To learn more about the culture, we visited Sushi Kagura in Jimsacho, a Japanese restaurant receiving many positive reviews in an omakase Facebook group. Our omakase meal started with a Japanese-style salad. This appetizer contains some lettuce, cherry tomatoes, and corn served with sesame salad sauce. The salad was very refreshing, which stimulated our appetite and increased our excitement towards the meal. The second appetizer was Japanese steamed egg custard in a teacup. There were 2 slices of okra and some slime produced when cooking the okra on top. The whole steamed egg custard was very smooth. There was also some crab meat inside and added more texture to it. After the appetizers, our omakase meal started officially with red sea bream. It is a white fish rich in protein, which represents elegance in Japan. The red sea bream sashimi was served with yuzu jelly inside. The texture of the sashimi was quite tender. Although the taste of the yuzu jelly was significant, it didn't cover up the light freshness of the fish. The second dish was oyster sashimi served with sour purple onions. The oyster is called makaki, a kind of rock oyster abundant in winter at Hyogo in Japan. The chef adopted the Japanese style of using something sour to enhance the freshness of the oyster sashimi. The briny taste of the oyster matched well with the sour onion. The silky texture of the oyster and its delectable taste was very remarkable. While enjoying the meal, I was thinking about the principle of selecting ingredients to make an omakase meal. We observed that the chef chooses the ingredients by considering the season, location, and the preference of the target customers. For example, the chef of Sushi Kagura understands that Hong Kong customers like to eat oysters, so he searched for oysters that taste the best in this period. That's why we could enjoy this fresh oyster sashimi this time. After the oyster, we had mackerel sashimi from Mie in Japan as our third dish. Mackerel is the most delicious in winter as their body fat thickens when the temperature drops. This fatty mackerel was seared and served with radish paste. We could feel the multiple textures and the temperature differences of the sashimi. The fat of the mackerel wasn't too oily and tastes really good with the refreshing radish paste. After 3 dishes, my favorite toro finally appeared. The chef put a piece of perilla leaf between 2 slices of chu toro and wrapped them with crispy seaweed. Eating the juicy chu toro alone might be a little bit oily, but the perilla leaf and seaweed neutralized its greasiness. It was divine. When we asked the chef about this, he answered us immediately without any hesitation. Communication is an essential element of omakase. Because of its history, the chef will always introduce the dish and the ingredients to ensure that the customers are informed and have a more secure dining experience. Also, the chef will observe the customers and proactively initiate conversations to connect with and entertain the customers. After the talk with the chef, we enjoyed our last sashimi, octopus cooked with soy sauce and white radish. The thickness of the octopus was just right for it to be chewy instead of being rubbery. the Japanese-style sweet soy sauce baked into both the octopus and the white radish. Tamasu sushi was our first piece of sushi. The chef seared the fish to bring out its fat and oil. It was quite soft inside with a little bit of smoky taste outside. You may wonder, in an omakase meal with so many diversified dishes, does the chef just serve them randomly? In fact, the serving sequence of an omakase meal is also a demonstration of how detail-minded the chef is. The chef will normally serve the dishes from cold to hot, weaker flavor to stronger flavor. The serving sequence can prevent the customer's tasting buds from being overwhelmed by the strongly flavored dishes and not able to genuinely taste the less seasoned dishes. Next, we had horse mackerel sushi from Shimane in Japan. Shimane has the best horse mackerel in Japan due to its location in western Japan. Its texture was quite hearty, and we could feel the collagen inside the fish. Coming up next is the raw surf clam. It is very smooth in texture, and we could feel the fresh and sweet taste when we enjoy it. This is a snow crab sushi with sea urchins. If you love eating crabs a lot, you are going to fall in love with this. It contains a fresh taste of seawater that lasts even after we have finished this sushi. This is Mandy's favorite, akami marinated with soy sauce. The chef told us that akami, a part of the tuna, was marinated with Japanese soy sauce overnight so we could feel the slightly salty soy sauce deeply immersed in the sushi when we enjoyed it. Moving on, the chef served a Warship Roll with sea urchins. This was probably one of the best dishes throughout the meal. It tastes very sweet, fresh, and it melted right after we put them into our mouths. This is mantis shrimp with Buttercup and shrimp paste. It consists of a few layers of flavors. First, we would taste the freshness of the shrimp and the Buttercup, followed by the overwhelming yet satisfying flavor of the seawater. A considerate chef would always take care of his customers. When we just settled down by the dining table, the chef gently asked if we had any food allergies or anything we would not prefer eating. He would then adjust the menu to make sure everyone could enjoy all dishes he served later. Moreover, when we were observing the restaurants and other customers, we realized that the chef placed the sushi at another angle as he recognized the customers was left-handed to facilitate the easiness of the customers. This is undoubtedly the best dish in the whole meal, scallop sushi with foie gras. The foie gras was slightly burnt, so strong smell of the goose oil came into our nose when the chef was serving this dish. This is so memorable that we can still recall the feeling that at the time when making this video. Last but not least, the chef served the true toro hand rolls as the final dish of sushi. Some onions were added in between the two slices of true toro, enriching the texture of the hand roll and preventing us from being overwhelmed with the oily true toro. In omakase meals, craftsmanship spirit is a very important concept demonstrated by the chef throughout the meal. Craftsmanship is a mentality of pursuing the best and the extreme level of what we are working on, even when it is just a tiny little detail that might be overlooked by the others. In omakase, the chefs take care of all the little details and make sure the customers can feel the best out of them. From the design of the restaurant, the utensils and plates that the customers are using, to the treatment of seasonal ingredients and providing considerate service. Some experienced chefs even spend over 20 years to become an expert, and that's why omakase is relatively more expensive, and it's totally worth it. So when you are going to enjoy an omakase meal, we really suggest all of you observe the details throughout the meal to discover the chef's considerate service and appreciate them putting in so much effort in giving the diner the best experience possible. Thank you for enjoying this video. See you next time!